Is there any way at this point to prevent the Republicans from unilaterally raising or eliminating the debt ceiling?
Legally, no, because the debt ceiling is an act of Congress, and if they have a majority vote to do that, they can. So that, you know, that is the leverage we have. I think, however, there are probably 20 Republicans who have campaigned on the fact that they never ever voted to raise the debt ceiling, okay? And this is why, in this negotiation, there are two real leverage points in negotiations we have coming up. One of them is the debt ceiling, where the Republicans, you know, have this group of members who are just, you know, the super Freedom Caucus, zero government types who will never ever vote, they say, to raise the debt ceiling, and presumably they would never ever vote to eliminate it entirely. So that is one break on the whole behavior. You know, on the other hand, we're one of the only two countries in the world that have the debt ceiling. The other one, I think maybe Finland or something like this. It's a, you know, not a major country, and it's not a good thing for policy. The way most countries do their budgeting is you control your spending when you make your budget, and then you follow your budget. It's not like, it's sort of like trying to control credit card spending by refusing to pay your credit card bill. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't work well in countries when we tried it. And it hasn't been effective at limiting our debt. So it's actually, you know, so if I could snap my fingers in a non-Trump world and to make it disappear, I would make it disappear. Because frankly, just from a Democratic point of view, it's been more of a break on Democrats than on Republicans over time. And it provides a sort of specious argument, set of arguments and talking points about, oh no, our debt's out of control, without ever talking about the tax side of the issue. And that's a, you know, one of the things that, you know, the tax, I think we have, do we have, I thought you said there was going to be a question on the debt. Is that one? I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken. But yeah, I get it all the time. So I will make up, this is the question for me. Because, you know, you see this all the time. Oh no, you know, we have a $36 trillion debt, you know, we blah, 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 you know, we're about to go bankrupt. But the thing is that when people talk about the $36 trillion federal debt, they say, well, what is the wealth of America to compare that against? And does anyone know the net worth of the United States? It's $160 trillion. All right, so if you have $160 trillion and a debt of $36 trillion, you are not bankrupt or anywhere close to it. And the truth of the matter is that, you know, 1/3 of that money, 1/3 of that $160 trillion is held by the top 1%. Okay, and and the bottom 50% has zero net worth. Okay, and this is often, you know, when you strip down what we're arguing about in Congress, it's whether we're going to fix that problem or not. And when we talk about whether we're adjusting, you know, Obamacare subsidies or something like that, part of it's, are we going to try to do something about the 50% of the United States that has no net worth? You know, do they deserve some decent form of health care too or not? And frankly, whether we make the top 1% and above pay their fair share. You know, when... young people, and one of the things we hear all the time is the student debt problem. And I'm thinking, I will now break your heart and tell you that when I went to college, I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and it cost me $2,500 a year, including dorms. Now, I gotta say, they weren't great dorms. They were sort of simple. You know, they were like, it was basically army cots and cinder block dorms, but it got a hell of a good education. And we paid for that at the time by top marginal tax rates on the very rich, above 90%. And that was the time when the U.S.'s economy became the envy of the world. That's when we took over economic leadership. And we did that, so that's sort of a proof that asking the wealthy to pay their fair share makes the economy work better.